driving a clean race, driving safe races, and he's still leading as they come around. In turn 2, we have a report of a problem. Yellow flag is out again. Yellow flag is out. AJ Foyt into the wall. AJ Foyt.
Foyt in turn 2 went into the wall, then rode down the wall. Thus far, though, there has been no fire, but AJ is not moving. AJ is not getting out of the car.
Fuel leaking down across the track. The fire crews are there. The car is sitting firmly against the wall. The crews are at the machine. AJ Foyt's number 14. The yellow flag is out again. And this will slow the race further. No movement indicated from AJ Foyt's car. Crews on the scene will continue to watch. Pace car is back on the racetrack, and it will bring the fields around.
AJ still sitting in the car.
Steve Edwards, who was instrumental in that last accident, is on the scene now, looking over the car.
The jaws of life.
That's what that signal indicates. They're going to want those jaws to try and pry the car out. You saw it in our demonstration earlier. Steve Edwards, they can use it either to pry the car apart, or they can use it to cut large pieces of metal. And it looks like that car is badly damaged on the right side, so they want to use the jaws to gently pry the car apart. They'll take their time. There's no reason for them to speed up at this point. They want to take it easy and make sure that they don't injure a driver any more than the injuries he might have sustained. In the old days, when they pick him up, Charlie, and just run with him, so often they would cause more injuries in the rescue than they did in the actual work.
Dick Simon's car, he may have blown an engine from San Juan Capistrano, so he has dropped low on the racetrack. We, of course, are under the yellow with the situation with AJ Foyt, and you may have noticed that one of the men immediately went in and put his hand behind AJ's head. Go back to the demonstration that we showed you earlier. When they move a race driver, they always want to protect that head and keep the head way forward.
Well, that's the concern. It is a broken neck, a broken cervical spine, and you have to assume it. It's very seldom true, but you have to assume it. There's those jaws of life from the demonstration earlier. Now watch them just snip off the locking mechanism in this car from our demonstration. They bring incredible pressure to the tips of those jaws. And now they've got the door wedged open, and here come the cutters in Steve Edwards' hands. This is a demonstration videotaped earlier this week. And he will come in and just snip off the lock, which is holding the door together. There it is, and they get out. An incredible piece of machinery. It is used not only in racing, of course, it's used by fire departments and rescue services across the country with great success. It saved a lot of lives.
And that, of course, is the machinery that they're using on AJ's car. Dick Simon has now come into the pits.
Well, Dick has been in and out several times, and that's A.J. Watson was standing over the car. He has a rather disgusted look. I suspect it's the end of the day for him.
So now we go back to the situation in turn 2. This is A.J.'s pit crew.
They're listening to a radio, trying to get some information. That's a radio capable of monitoring the frequencies here. They're trying to find out what's going on. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Paul, we're down here in AJ Foyt's pit. The crew obviously very concerned. They're trying to monitor radio information. We passed car owner Jim Gilmore, who went by us on a golf cart. He said that their initial report was it was a serious crash. Now let's listen in on this conversation. Well, a difficult problem here for us to understand what those radio transmissions are saying. Crew, of course, just standing by waiting anxiously for any information that they can get. That's the situation at the moment here in the AJ Foyt pit.
And also, they just used a backboard to slide in behind AJ. And that, of course, what Paul was talking about. You assume the worst and you use every precaution possible, and that's to give support to the back, the neck, and to the head.
Well, there's plenty of help there. Steve Edwards in the orange safety suit up over the top of the car. With his back to us is Dr. Steve Alvey. He is the medical director of CART, and they have a philosophy that the doctor should always be the same at every race course. That way the competitors know who they're talking to, and they have a certain level of confidence in someone who constantly takes care of them. And that is who's with them now, Dr. Alvey.
This is the accident in turn 2. We're under the yellow with 83 laps complete. AJ Foyt, who just, 2-3 weeks ago joined CART to run particularly in this race. This is where he first made his impact against the fence. Was set to go last Sunday. We were postponed due to the rain delay, and AJ did not have an opportunity. He arrived late yesterday, did not have an opportunity to practice.
Well, AJ has been an absolute delight the entire time he has been here. He has spent plenty of time talking with folks, talking to the reporters that are here covering this event. I walked down to the end of the pits the other day and had a delightful conversation with him. He really has been enjoying what he's doing. He says he likes to race, and that's why he's here.
All right, we'll be back, of course, with more of the Michigan 500 in just a moment. AJ Foyt, they have now placed him into the ambulance. They had a small problem, just took a bit of time to get him out of his car that impacted against the wall in turn 2. But he is in that ambulance and will be taken immediately to the field hospital here.
Well, he'll go to that hospital for initial evaluation. They'll make a decision in the ambulance whether or not they should even stop there. If there is any reason, then they'll go right on to the hospital. Let's go back and look just a moment ago. Here is the scene at the car. A lot of people there, plenty of help as they were removing Foyt from the car, badly damaged on the right-hand side, but rather rapidly they were able to pick him up, get him out of the car, very careful when they picked him up to make sure that they didn't cause any additional injury. And they brought AJ Foyt out of the car, loaded him into the ambulance, and the ambulance now wending its way around the track, and then it'll make a decision based on the severity of injury, a situation that we know nothing about. We have no idea whether he is injured badly or not, but they are being very careful, and they will decide, will they go to the track hospital or will they go on to another facility.
And of course, we also should point out that they do have a helicopter standing by in case that it is needed, or they can take him to the hospital in the ambulance. Either way.
Report to work. There's AJ Foyt's car, so you can see how hard it hit that wall, ripped the entire right side off of the car. But it looks to me like the cockpit is in pretty good shape. It's flattened. Remember, these cars, Charlie, have deformable structure. That's a very important term. The idea is that when you hit something, that the parts will absorb the energy of the impact, and the parts will come off, and accidents will look like they're terrible because parts are flying everywhere. But in that action alone, the kinetic energy of the crash is being released and hopefully not being transferred to the driver.
The car of AJ Foyt impacting on the right side into the fence in turn 2, and then going down the fence.
Yes, I got
as you can see, completely tearing out the right side. And now let's go down to Bruce Jenner. Bruce?
Right now I'm with Steve Edwards. And Steve, how is AJ doing? I noticed his car, the whole right side of it's gone.
Yeah, he hit the line pretty hard on the right side, Bruce. He was pinned in the race car. We were able to extricate him. He was unconscious when we got to him. He was regaining consciousness when we put him in the ambulance. It'd be premature to state his condition right now, but he was regaining consciousness. He was talking. It appears to be an injury to his right arm, and you know, that's all I can really tell you right now. But we do have him out of the race car, and he is on his way
on the air. This is AJ Foyt in turn 2. This was when he had come to a stop. He hit the fence a little earlier in turn 2 and then just came sliding right down it.
Well, it looks like the car just darted up into the wall. Having not seen the start of the crash, we don't know what put it up into the wall, and then it slid for some distance. Let's go back out to the accident site and Bruce Jenner.
Right now we're at the car, and the car is completely destroyed in the back. But you notice, I'd have to say, you know, the way the car has been constructed has been fabulous. It took the shot. The whole side of the car is gone, but the cockpit, where he would be sitting, has not really been damaged at all. Just the whole side of the car has been ruined. So really, it looks like nothing from the inside of the cockpit has been hit that terribly. But boy, did he take a jolt when he hit the side of that wall. Charlie?
All right, thank you, Bruce. Of course, Bruce is way away from our normal coverage, and that's the reason that we're having a little bit of breakup on the RF mic. But just as important to get the on-the-scene report, And Bruce Jenner is there. All right, Johnny Rutherford leads, Bobby Unser, Tom Sneva. We'll take a timeout. 100, we are still under the yellow. We do not have any additional report on AJ Foyt. He is currently in the field hospital here. And as soon as we receive that report, Gary Jarrell will be relaying it to us.
They're still working on the fence out in the second turn. They had some damage up there. My guess, and this is simply a guess, with that kind of accident, it is one, usually as a result of a broken part. In the case of this kind of accident, the half shaft in the right rear will tend to break, and that immediately turns the car to the right because the power is now on the left rear wheel and up into the fence. It looks like that, though, again, I say we didn't see it.
The official standings now with 90 laps complete. Johnny Rutherford is in first, followed by Bobby Unser in second, Tom Sneva is in third, Rick Mears is in fourth, and Mike Mosley's in fifth. Do you have an update on that?
Well, we mentioned the weather, and
yes,
we're getting now some reports of drizzle out behind the grandstand here, and the crews have radioed their teams. Generally speaking, they're concerned that this race may not go a full distance, and so they've told their crews, under the possibility of rain, the crews are telling their drivers.
Charlie, we're standing outside the infield compound once again at the hospital. As you can see, the helicopter is warming up. Now, we do not hang outside the infield compound once again at the hospital. As you can see, the helicopter is warming up. Now, we do not have information that they're going to transport AJ Foyt to a nearby hospital, but we have to draw that conclusion. We did talk just moments ago with Jim Gilmore. He came out to tell members of the crew and the family that what was taking place. He just said, please tell everyone that AJ is a tough old bird. He's going to be fine. He was smiling. We know he's conscious, so that's all we can report at this time as we stand by to see whether or not indeed they will be transporting AJ Foyt from the infield medical facility.
All right, thank you, Gary, for that report. And this man has been as important. I think he's been the most important man in the history of IndyCar racing.
Well, he has certainly been a key figure in the sport. He leads in all of IndyCar type wins in history. He is the man that almost everyone consults when they want to make a move, when they need some advice, when they want to know which way to go in this sport. And I'm talking not only drivers, but promoters, sponsors, everybody. One of the first calls is always to AJ Foyt to find out exactly what Foyt has to say about a situation. And so Foyt has been key for years. He continues to be key in the continuing conversations of the future of all of IndyCar racing.
At age 46, this is AJ's 25th year of driving Indy cars, and as Paul mentioned, 67 wins. 4-time winner of Indianapolis, and 7 times he has been the national IndyCar driving champion.
Now the pace car begins to have
AJ Foyt. The crash occurring over in turn number 2, as you saw, extensive damage to the Gilmore car number 14. And right now, trying to, gingerly as possible, lift the veteran driver off of the gurney on that flat board and into the helicopter, which very shortly will be leaving the Michigan International Speedway grounds. You can see it's an extensive operation. It's one of those situations that no one ever likes to see in racing. Certainly we send our best wishes along with the man who has contributed so very, very much to this great sport over so many years as he awaits further medical attention. We can see some movement there as AJ trying to cooperate with the medical personnel who have been working so diligently over the past several minutes. That's an encouraging sign. And again, we go back to those words of Jim Gilmore, who said AJ will be all right. So that's what we have to report at the moment. We'll stand by, and as soon as that helicopter gets in the air, we hope that we'll be able to update the information with a report from Dr. Olby or one of the CART spokesmen that is here within the compound at this infield medical center.
Gary, thank you for that report. And Paul, you and I know AJ Foyt, and you know at this moment that he's telling everybody what to do and how to locate himself into the helicopter so they get going.
He may be a little bit feeble about his descriptions, but if he's conscious at all, he's helping out, probably helping out with some drama too. Now, this says one thing to me, and that is that the transport will be not to one of the local hospitals in Jackson.
And we'll be back with more of the Michigan. All right, we're back at the Michigan 500. Let's go down to Gary Jarrell. Gary?
While we're standing here now, we have Dr. Olvey, who has just come out from the infield medical center. Dr. Olvey, what can you tell us about the condition of AJ?
Well, first of all, Gary, he was alert in the wake at the time that we sent him in the helicopter. He has a bad laceration and possible fracture of the right arm, a puncture wound and possible fracture of the left leg. He, as I said, he was conscious and alert. There are no apparent internal injuries. So if all that holds true, he should get along quite well.
Now, where is he being transported?
We're taking him to the University of Michigan Hospital in Ann Arbor.
All right, Dr. Olvey, thank you very much.
Thank you,
That's the official word at the moment on AJ Foyt, who just left this medical infield compound here at Michigan International Speedway.
All right, thank you for that report.